Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. I work for this investPenang. investPenang is an agency, it's a state agency. It is a facilitator of investment into Penang. I'm also at Penang Development Corporation because these two organizations, there are a lot of synergies between the two. Once the investor, they come to Penang, normally if you're doing manufacturing, of course you need land. So Penang Development Corporation, they hold all the industrial land in Penang. What I want to share with you is very much Penang-centric. So if you are from other states, then maybe later we have a Q&A, then we can share some of those statistics nationally. Now, as far as Penang is concerned, I think all of you, maybe you are aware that Penang is the third smallest state in Penang. Okay, the second smallest, because we always try to compete with Malacca. The smallest one, of course, is Perlis. Then the second, we always say that is Penang. But then, of course, the third is Malacca. The population is about 1.5 at the moment. We have about 800,000 on the island, and then, of course, we have another 700,000 people staying on the peninsular side of the Penang state. Now, as far as just now, we have some discussions talking about what have changed compared with the previous government. As far as Penang is concerned, the thrust, or rather the practice of Penang state government is that is CAT. CAT stands for competency, okay, competency, accountability, as well as the T stands for transparency. So this is the main practice, or rather the motto of the state government. Now this is very important because we find that these three elements, in order to move business, you need these three elements: competency, accountability, and transparency. So the state government is practicing this CAT policy throughout the whole administration, from when you get the application for investment all the way to implementation. We try to put this CAT into the whole process. Now, of course, as far as the state government is concerned, our policy is the government's business is to get out of business. So we would try to divest whatever involvement we have by the previous government to the public, to the private sector, because we feel that the best businessman is always in the private sector. It's not the government. The government business is governing, right? They should not be doing business. Then, as far as we are concerned, last year investment into Penang was record years. We have about 10.2 billion Malaysian ringgit. That is equivalent to about 3 billion USD. But of course, generally, for the whole country, last year was a bumper year. There was a record years. This year, because of the economic crisis globally, Penang is impacted. But of course, if you look at the statistic as compared with 1997, when we have the Asian economic crisis, this year, 2009, up until August, we still have about 1.8 billion Malaysian ringgit investment into Penang. As compared with the whole year of 1997, we had about 1.5 billion. Now, bearing in mind that as far as Penang is concerned, 1997 was not as severe as 2009. Why I say that is because in 1997, America, which is our main export, what should I say, our importer of Penang goods, was doing very well in America. Whereas this time round, 2009, actually the problem is very much in America, where our market is. So you can see that this year, our export supposed to be impacted a lot because we export most of our goods to United States. But in terms of investment figure, we are still not too bad. We still have about 1.6 up until September 2009, as compared to 1.5 billion in 1997 whole year. So this is basically the issues. Now, as far as companies is concerned in Penang, in terms of companies invested in Penang, the majority of them, with the most companies are from Taiwan. That's number one. Then of course you have Japan and USA. But in terms of value, USA is number one. Then of course you have Japan and then Europe. Actually, Germany has invested heavily in Penang lately. We have a big company like Ostrom who is doing this LED lighting. Then of course we have this B. Brown, which is medical devices. So they are very big in Penang. But of course traditionally we have all the American company, AMD, Motorola, Intel, Avago, all these companies are in Penang as well. Now the main thrust of the Penang economy is actually made out of two pillars. On the one side, it is the services industry. Of course, on the other side, it is the manufacturing industry. In terms of composition, it is roughly 60-40. That means 60 is in services, and then 40 is manufacturing. Of course, the agriculture as well as mining part of it is very, very small. Actually, it's insignificant. Now, as far as services is concerned, I'm quite sure that you have read about Penang being accorded the heritage city, heritage site by UNESCO. That have given us the impetus as far as the cultural as well as the heritage preservation, conservation site that lead to tourism, okay, heritage tourism. So for the past 12 months, the business as far as heritage tourism is concerned actually has contributed quite a lot. Now for those people who are from Penang, we also want to share with you that tourism is also very vibrant. We have a few hotels coming up. You have heard of Hard Rock Hotel, you know, Hard Rock. So in the whole of Malaysia, we are the first state that has this Hard Rock Hotel opened in Penang. Then of course we have a few more hotels which is coming out as well. All this is because we feel that tourism, or rather the businessmen feel that tourism is one of the important industry. Now as far as that is, apart from that, services industry, healthcare services is also another big money earner for Penang states. As far as Penang is concerned, we take 2/3 of all the income from medical services from the whole nation, right? So in other words, if you spend $3 USD in healthcare, in private healthcare system, 2 USD will go to Penang states. So you can see that it's very vibrant. So if you are in medical devices, if you are in healthcare services, then there is a big opportunity for everyone. Then of course you have MSC. Penang is the second cyber city outside Kuala Lumpur. I am quite sure that you have heard about this MSC, Multimedia Super Corridor. We have one big one in Cyberjaya in KL. Penang is the second one. So if you are doing R&D, D&D, then of course you can come to Penang, and then you can set up your research center, or you can do outsourcing there. Malaysia as a whole, we give a lot of incentive to this R&D and the D&D, as well as the outsourcing business. So if you come to Penang, you will be qualified because Penang is a cyber city. Penang is also quite vibrant as far as MM2H is concerned. MM2H is Malaysia, my second home. Okay, this is a scheme whereby for us to attract foreigners to spend their time, not necessarily retiring there, but also to for young professionals to stay there. Because nowadays you can use the internet, you can communicate anywhere in the world. So Penang, by virtue of a very competitive in terms of cost of living, but very high in terms of quality of life, then of course there is naturally a destination for a lot of people to go to Penang. Now that is in sync with the government policy to make Penang an international city. Why Penang can be made into an international city is because our connectivity to the outside world is very, very good. Be it you're talking about sea, land, as well as air. All of you know that Penang has a very good port, in the northern Malaysia.